All right, welcome back to episode 5 of Church Voice Podcast. I'm here with Dejan, and we also have to us, it's a special guest. You guys don't know him, but we are here with Jaren. Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Jaren. I'm just blessed to be here.
Where you from, Jaren?
Chi-Town, man.
Okay,
Chi-Town, Chicago.
Yeah, so we decided to bring Jaren on for this week's episode. This week's episode, we're going to be talking about relationships. So, we wanted to have 3 different perspectives. We have a single man.
Very single.
We have a man who has a girlfriend, and we have a young man who is engaged. So we just wanted to have 3 different perspectives so we can, give you, different ideas, different outlooks on how to, live as a Christian and be in a relationship. We're gonna have maybe another episode. We were talking about having a young married man on. We'll have that.
Yeah.
Coming soon. But right now we have part 1. We have our man Jaren here, which we're very grateful that he was able to do this with us, because he's not an easy man to get a hold of since he is from Chicago.
And he's getting married.
Yeah.
When is that? December?
December.
Okay.
December.
So and this is a man that's based in Chicago. We're based in Louisville. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess our first question, topic or question more so is how should being a Christian, how should you approach, or how would you suggest approaching approaching a relationship and choosing a partner? Like, how did you come to the point of like, this is the one I want to be with?
Well, I know how worldly women act. I know how a Christian woman acts.
Okay, break that down for us real quick.
Like,
now we don't want to offend nobody.
Yeah. But like living for God, you are consistently fasting, consistently praying. My fiance, she builds me up when I'm feeling down. She like prays for me if I'm feeling down.
Yeah.
We just we pray every day, just like stuff like that to help you get closer to God.
Yeah.
So that's what I was looking for, and that's how I knew that she was the one.
Now, beforehand, is that something that like every man got like non-negotiables and things they want in a woman? Is that
Right.
something that you had on your list of like what I'm looking for specifically, or is that something she just brought to the table? Like, dang, that's something I needed that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, that she already had. Like I knew I needed it, but I knew it wasn't gonna be in Chicago. I knew, like, no offense to nobody in Chicago, but I knew like where I grew up, it was like a needle in a haystack to find what I was looking for. But as soon as me and her started talking, she was filling up all the boxes. She was already doing it.
So I want to hit on like you being in Chicago, it being a needle in a haystack to find a woman like that you have right now. You grew up in church, right?
Right.
So even the women who are in the church, are they not up to par, or what is it specifically that you couldn't find or didn't like?
For me, like I grew up in a small church, so it was really my grandfather was the pastor. It was just all the females were my cousins.
Oh dang, okay.
Yeah. So
can't have that.
it was only it was only like maybe 15 to 20 members,
right?
And it was all family. So, and I was always in his church, never went to nobody else's church. So
yeah. So that's what you meant, like it's like finding a needle in a haystack, because you basically grew up with family and church,
right? Yeah,
it's basically, which makes sense. Yeah, I could definitely see how, because people talk about how Chicago is anyway, but I ain't just gonna specifically bag on the city. Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about the city, but I definitely can understand how it is. It can be very difficult to find the one, and have her be a Christian, because I would have to say, for me personally, that was one of my. Even if me, Lord willing, me and my girlfriend, we do work out. If we don't, that'll be at the forefront for me, is to have a Christian woman.
Right.
One, it'll make it easier, because you got to start thinking down the line, like, if she's not a Christian and like y'all get married, y'all have kids, like which your kids gonna follow, right? And they gonna follow the worldly way, they gonna follow your way, and you don't want to be unequally yoked, because that just creates a lot of problems, a lot of arguments, and it wouldn't be easy. So I definitely.
So it's a question for the both of y'all. When you say Christian, here's what I used to believe. I used to believe as long as a woman knows God, like I'm cool with that. As long as you know who God is and know God, I'm cool with that. Boy, was I wrong. Like quickly, I understood. Like, nah, that don't work.
Yeah.
So when you say like, because any person can be like, oh, I'm Christian.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a girl who I I won't say I was dating, but I was seeing, and getting to know. And one of the questions I asked her was like, one of the topics we hit on was Jesus. Mm-hmm. And she was like, how would you feel if somebody didn't believe in Jesus? I said, can't do it. I'm sorry. Not can't even remotely. I couldn't. Well, she asked me why, and I'm just like, well, I know what Jesus means to me and what he's done in my life, like, and just the relationship, not the understanding I have with knowing God, or knowing who God is. If you don't have that, how can you help me? How can you pray for? How can you do any of these things? Yeah. Coming around the block to my question, when you say Christian woman, or not even Christian woman, just Christians in general, because I'm sure there's women listening to this in general. What are some qualities or traits you should look for in a partner that has that foundation? Not somebody that's like, I'm a Christian, but you should have these specific traits or foundation pieces in order for me to even consider you as a partner that you guys would say.
I mean, I guess it's like you said, like, I mean, you just got to open it up like that. Question, you believe in God, right? And, I feel like based on that, like just that question alone, based on their response, you can kind of tell where their walk is. Yeah. I feel like, because, they could be, like you said, they can be like, yeah, I'm a Christian. Or they could be like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to this church. I do this and that. I've always, they go in depth with their answer. Mm-hmm.
But what are some
traits?
Traits or some things that this should be part of the, like he said, Krista prays for him.
Yeah,
they
for
pray
sure.
together.
Yeah.
Like if he's a man who prays, but as his woman, she don't pray, she read.
Right.
She prefers to read over praying. Like she don't really pray like that. What kind of traits would you say?
For me personally, I would have to see how they carry themselves, because you can also tell how they carry themselves, whether they're a Christian woman or not. Christian women are usually modest. They don't have to be, like I'm covering up like that. That kind of stuff. But you can kind of tell, if they're a Christian or not, if they actually truly believe in God. And then you can also tell by their logic of thinking,
right,
and their decision making as well. So like say like, y'all out on y'all first date, and off the bat they ordering a margarita,
right?
You can kind of tell they're like, oh shoot, they walk may not be as serious as mine is.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I guess I am kind of, but I guess a trait that I specifically look for would just be them how caring they are, and is there caring, like how much they care, is it like Jesus is caring,
right?
Or like if the way they think, is it godly thinking or is it worldly thinking?
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, that would be my mindset if I was personally single. But you are the single man, so if you looking for a Christian woman, what would be the traits that you would be?
My perspective has very drastically changed when it comes to dating. Because at first, like I said, I wasn't. I used to tell Trey all the time, like, as long as she know who God is, I'm cool. I can work with that. But
you can work with that.
Nah, you can't. I learned the hard way that you cannot, because people can say, "Oh, I believe in God. Oh, I believe in Jesus," but you don't. You've not really done anything to really, accept God. Right. Yeah, I believe in him, but have you really accepted him? For who he is. Yeah. Do you carry yourself? Like you said, you kind of know if somebody really does follow Christ by the way how they act or how they carry themselves. And it's not by their own doing. It's just a simple fact, like I've come into contact with Jesus, so it's like your whole perspective and perception on life has changed. Yeah. So I think for me, I'm really at a point where I ain't even looking, bro. I ain't gonna cap to you. Yeah. But it's like if I was to look, it would be somebody who is who probably loves God more than anything. Like that's number one, because if you love Jesus, it's like a hierarchy. It goes Jesus in a marriage. To me, it goes Jesus, then the man, then the woman.
Right.
That's literally how it goes. So if you love Jesus, me getting my direction from Jesus, then that means you would trust me as your man, to lead you the way that Jesus leads me. Mm-hmm. That's literally how it is. So I think for me, the most important thing is your love for Jesus. Yeah, genuine love, not anything other than that. So I think that's kind of high. But how did you come into, I guess, what are some of the things that checked your box? So I know you said she prays for you, different things like that, but what are some things that you really, really, really love that's like, dang?
Like that what made you know? Like,
yeah. Well, it was like when I was looking for a woman that had a relationship, not a relationship with God, not just saying I'm a Christian or I believe in God. In my circumstance, I was looking for a woman that had a relationship that talks about God, that we can talk about God together. And like she was just like everything I was looking for, she had it, literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I could think of, she had. She had a relationship. She's in the church 3-4 times out the week on a consistent basis. If I know she's not at the house, I know she's either getting something to eat or she's at the church.
I know her schedule.
Yeah. So like I don't have to worry about nothing. I don't have to worry about if she's cheating or doing this. That was a problem with my last relationship before her. I had to worry about if she was cheating, who she was going with, checking her location, this and that. And it became toxic. So I wasn't looking for a toxic relationship. I was looking for comfort. And then she checked all the boxes.
And that's a good point because if you could be faithful to Jesus, you can be faithful to me.
To me, yeah.
As not even a man or not even as a woman, as a man or a woman. Like if you can be faithful to Jesus, then I know you can be faithful.
Or even like you said, like you find comfort. You can find comfort in her, like like
peace. Yeah,
you find peace because you find peace in God. Like you can find peace in her. That's a great point.
And I know y'all been knowing each other for a long time. So at what point did you know? Because they say when a man knows, he knows. At what point did you know? Like, yeah, that's the one I'm going. For sure.
Well, I came here New Year's 2022, and then she had like a game night over her house or whatever. And then after that night, I was laying in the bed, and then like I don't know, she just kept replaying in my head. I'm like, why am I thinking? I never thought about her like before.
That way.
Like, why does she keep popping up in my head? And then I was telling Christian and Anna, I'm like, I like Krista. What do you mean you like Krista? You don't talk to her. I said I like Krista. So as soon as I get back to Chicago, I text her, and then we've been talking
ever since.
Yeah.
You want to know when I knew that y'all was gonna be together? When I knew y'all was gonna be together, I remember we was still at what's the Country Lake.
Yeah,
we was at Country Lake, and it was late, bro. It was late as all get out, and we was all in the hallway chilling. And I remember Christian was standing there, like I don't think y'all knew he was in the hallway, but I seen you coming down the steps with like some chips or something to give to Christian. I'm like, oh yeah. I noticed it. I knew. I don't think I was together at that time though.
We was together at that point. We just didn't tell nobody.
Oh shoot, dang! I was way off then. No, I didn't know y'all was together. I just thought y'all was like.
That was July 22. We got together. We started talking January of 22, but we didn't make it official till May of 22.
Well,
we was already 2 months in.
Oh shoot! Well, I was.
Like we wasn't public. So
we just didn't tell nobody.
I was gonna say that's when I knew like y'all was. I don't know want to say together, but. Maybe talking on the way there.
You could tell
at that point. But no, it's funny.
You do the little things, and because as being 3 men, like you can tell when a man like really loves a woman, because it's the little things that you see a man do that they wouldn't do for another random girl or something like that.
Yeah,
like you said, like simply like. He went all the way up the steps, just come all the way back, just for a bag of chips. Like, that's just something you do for somebody.
I don't think they knew we was in the hallway, though. And I don't think nobody else.
Who was it, you and Craig?
Nah, it was a bunch of us. Because that's when Sister Shannon was like, y'all need to go to bed. And we was all upset. Because we ain't have no time
I remember that.
to do nothing, bro. We like, man, we adults. Like, we not doing that.
To give y'all an idea, what we're talking about is, here at our church, we have a summer camp every summer. And basically everybody
since we was kids.
So everybody, we all meet up every summer. We do that, and late at night us as we're adults. We hang out and we talk while the kids are asleep and stuff. And so that's what he's referring to.
But it was around that time.
Yeah.
I know you had y'all. Did y'all go through the whole like counseling thing?
We going through it right now. We just had our second session 2 days ago. On Thursday. Yeah.
Well, how do you prepare for that? And what would you say? How important is it for people who may have a potential partner that don't necessarily have the same foundation as you? How would you prepare for that? And how important is it based on where you currently? I don't know. How many sessions is it?
I want to say like 9. I think.
How important would you say it is, in this process? I guess
I say even if you're not a Christian couple, I say just having a counselor session is very important because it teaches you like how to deal with arguments, how to deal with coming together as one.
Yeah.
And like, since we're a Christian couple, we know we got to go to everything about God. If we have an argument, we got to go to God about it. We have, we got to go to God about everything.
Yeah.
So Bishop, who was our instructor for the counseling session, he just brings up God. Y'all have to go through God. Y'all got to go through God. Y'all got to do this through God. Y'all are one. So y'all have to come to him about everything. So that's what we've been practicing, and it's been very healthy since we started.
I would have to say that's one thing that me and my girlfriend, we've learned, because we aren't, we're not engaged like they are, but not yet. Not yet. But we've known each other our whole life. So, but that's one thing that we have learned, and we started to figure out, like, is that, when you guys come together and you guys are ready to, you drop to one knee and everything like that, y'all becoming one person.
Right.
Like, y'all are one. Y'all do everything the same. Y'all not going to necessarily think the same, obviously, but, everything is on one accord. Y'all on the same page. And I think God showed me that when me and my girlfriend, we got no argument. I don't remember what it was about, but, I was like, you get to that point, you're like, come on, bro. Like, you frustrated. You're like, all right, bro. Like, and God, he was showing me, like, y'all have to, you have to realize, like, if you're going to do this, y'all are going to become one. Right. So y'all have to learn how to communicate. Mm-hmm. And, basically, like, you look at Adam and Eve, right? So Adam was made as a man. He was by himself. And then God took Eve from his rib. Mm-hmm. So you have to think of it like as the woman that you're picking to be for the rest of your life, she is going to replace that missing piece in your rib. Mm-hmm. She is your rib. And that's one thing that means when you're coming together as one person, that, she's completing you. And, y'all complete each other, and y'all walk with God and follow God in the right direction and stuff like that. So
I want to comment on that, and then I'm going to ask both of y'all another question. Mm-hmm. As you guys know, every episode I reference Prophet Lovey.
Yeah.
Reference point for today, he mentioned that he did a reveal series that the woman is a representation of God's feminine side. Mm. And the man is masculine side. So when the two come together, like you said, it's the fullness of God, in a sense, which is good insight. I never really thought about it like that. Some people may have, but
I haven't either. Yeah,
he said that because think about it. God is loving. He's forgiving. He's merciful. He's caring. Those are some.
He's nurturing too.
Yeah, those are some of the more feminine characteristics or qualities or traits that a woman has.
Yeah.
And as men, we got patience, but not as much as a woman.
Yeah.
Patience kind of runs thin and different things like that. But in terms of like resolving conflict, what would you say? How does faith play a role in that? How does your faith play a role in resolving conflict?
Faith plays a big role because the scripture talks about how you have to forgive when you get into arguments or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like I know if I wasn't a Christian, I wasn't living right for God, like one argument, I'll be done. I'll be done. And I know I'll be done. So I know that my faith plays a big role because the scripture talks about forgiving. So I know I have to forgive. If I make her mad, I know that she has to forgive. So it's like forgiving that's probably the main thing I'll say in our relationship is forgiveness.
So how do you, I want to hear both of y'all. Maybe we on the same, because faith does play a big role. We all share the same faith. So we may be on like common ground with this question. How do you approach disagreement or conflict in your relationship? What is your approach? How do you handle it? And how would you suggest other people should handle it?
During conflict, I think you need to know your partner.
Yeah.
Like, if you know that your partner is emotional and like sensitive, don't come in yelling, aggressive, screaming.
Yeah.
Because that's where I messed up in the beginning of our relationship. I knew she was sensitive, but my pride didn't let me come on as soft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like as I grew in my faith and as we grew together, I know, okay, I don't like this. Let me come to it. Let me come in a more sensitive way. Mm-hmm. So like that's really the big thing. When we got into arguments, it was because not because of the situation as much. It was because I came on too aggressive and she didn't like it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now if we have a disagreement, I know to come more soft and more sensitive towards
And I would have to say it's the opposite for me. I know in the beginning of our relationship, I was, and we get into an argument, I was super reserved. And I would shut down and not say anything in the middle of argument. But how are you going to work anything if you don't speak up?
Yeah.
So I had to start realizing like you can speak up in ways that's like not disrespectful or not aggressive, because that's not how Jesus was. You kind of want to come across just like Jesus, and you want to come calm, you want to come respectful, and you also want to get but you want to get your point across.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't want to be reserved, because you're not gonna fix anything. Nothing gets straightened out that way. Being reserved. And I ain't gonna say I quickly learned that, because like you said, like I kind of like got complacent about it, and kind of prideful about it. Like I'm not gonna talk. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right,
you win it. You got it. Like,
I can
you
relate,
got it.
I can relate to that, Trey. It's almost part of it is, for me, is my upbringing, because I didn't really have, especially in black households, you don't really have the opportunity to
speak how you feel.
Yeah, speak how you feel. And a lot of times it's like, do this, and I'm like, why? Because I said so. So it's like you can't even really ask questions. So a lot of the time, I remember in the 5th grade, my best friend died when I was in the 5th grade. I went to his funeral, the whole thing. I did not talk about it. My mom took me to therapy because I did not say a word about it. Never spoke about it, never said anything, never mentioned it. She took me to therapy for it. Yeah. That's one of the only times I ever remember. And now that I'm older, literally the therapist like pulled it out of me for me to speak on it in a strategic way. So I think, to sum it all up, both of you all's point, having a level of understanding with who your partner is, to know how to approach them is a big part in resolving conflict, because you can't yell at one, but another one might needs a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little
not
push.
yell, of course, but
like a pushback. Stern
kind of
pushback.
stern voice in their dealings and different things. But I feel like having the same foundation, you can find a lot of similarities in approaching different situations.
And you brought up like a good point in terms of like how you grew up, because like me personally, I didn't really like I grew up with a single mom, and I obviously I know my dad. I love my dad, but he got married to someone else.
Yeah.
And I didn't live with them. I would go over there every other Saturday, be with them. So growing up, I didn't visually have anything to look up to in terms of how a marriage is supposed to be, or how are you supposed to treat a woman, how are you supposed to come across in disagreements and stuff like that. It was just always my mom. And that's one thing that God has showed me too. Even my girlfriend, she's extremely smart and blessed and stuff like that. Like her. And she's even showed me like, hey, like I can see that you're, because she's the one that I open up to and stuff like that. And she could tell. She was like, yeah, I can see why you act like this in these terms of situations, because how you was brought up.
Yeah.
And I'm extremely thankful that God put her in my life, because it's definitely helped me grow into the man that I am now. And I can say that I'm extremely, like I said, blessed to have her.
And ladies, if you're watching this and you listening, if you have a man in your life who willingly opens up to you, please cherish that, because the moment you like mess that up, it's done forever, almost. Just about. It'll be a very hard time. You'll have a very hard time having a man, or the man you're dealing with, let his hair down, for lack of better terms.
Like we were just saying, like we were just both saying that we're prideful. Men are prideful. It's just how we are.
But a lot of times, bro, the way society's set up is for us to. It's more so. There's no catering to us at all. Yeah. There's no like, as a man, most of the time you got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. So, and thankfully, God has built us in a way to where we can carry those burdens, but to have somebody you can confide in, your woman especially, somebody you can go to, somebody you can shed a tear in front of, and there's no flack, no pushback as far as, you feel me, you just expressing your emotions. It's something that as a woman you should cherish, because men, and I can full on say, men don't do that a lot. No, if a man's doing it, he might really, really jig with you. But what are some red flags in relationships, especially as a Christian, that you should be. Matter of fact, let's not even do Christian. Just red flags in general that you should be aware of. We'll start with you, Jern.
I'll say a red flag is like if she, like let's say you open up and she like takes advantage of it, like she like brings you down because of it or whatever. That's why you do this. That's why your parents don't love you. That's why like stuff like that.
Throwing
like,
it back in your face.
Like throwing it back in your face, right? Like if she's saying that in that, please, because like he said, like it's harder for men to open up. And that's why me and Krista in the beginning of our relationship, we began the arguments because I wouldn't open up.
True.
I didn't know how to open up.
Yeah.
And like that's why I say counseling is important because Bishop asked us name 3 things you like and 3 things you dislike.
That was tough.
Yeah, that was tough.
You dropping gems, bro. I ain't gonna count.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And then one of her dislikes was it's hard for him to open up. And then Bishop went to like what y'all was saying. It's all about the background.
Yeah.
Like my family, like we never have like serious deep conversations.
Mine either.
All we do is laugh and just we are laughing families. All we do is laugh
and we just overlook everything.
Yeah. Krista's side, they very emotional. They talk about their feelings, how they feel about certain stuff. Like so, it was harder for me to open up. But like as you grow, and how she's pushing me to open up. That's another thing. You get you a partner that's gonna push you.
Yeah.
To be the best version of yourself.
Even as women, like I know we're 3 men up here, but even as a woman, like you want to get somebody that's gonna push you. That's gonna push you to, like you said, to be the best version of yourself.
Yep.
And
what would you say? Be a red flag?
For me, like I said, I feel like it would be. It has to be like how they carry themselves. You want a mature, thoughtful woman. Mm-hmm. Me personally, and I don't want somebody. I ain't trying to offend nobody, but I don't want somebody who's out here running in the streets, right, or like out here going clubbing and doing everything that doesn't showcase God, and that would have to be my red flag. Is you claim, you scream, I love God, I'm with God, but like. You do the complete opposite.
Can I ask you a question? So let's say there's a woman who may not do all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, granted, they're not necessarily a Christian to the depths, but even then, they still carry themselves in a way to where I ain't going out. I don't do none of this.
Right.
What would be an additional kind of red flag in addition to that? Because there's some people that just they have no desire to do any of that.
Yeah.
Prime example. I'm getting vulnerable here. My ex-girlfriend, she never really did all of that.
Clubbing and stuff?
She never really did none of that.
Yeah.
But again, like, I'm the one who introduced her to Jesus. I'm the one who introduced us to God because she saw my relationship with God. And by the grace of God, I could come to her and say certain things that only she would know. Because God would show me things, and I would speak to her, which ultimately led her to be like, "Dang, let me see what this is really about."
Yeah,
because I see him and I see how he moves and different things like that.
Sure.
But what would
I definitely think in terms of that situation, I definitely think it depends on the person, because like you said, like she didn't do clubbing and stuff like that. She may not have, and she may never even had the opportunity to know God, right? So you can't. I feel like from the jump, like. You can ask that question, do you believe in God? And that's why I was saying, like, it really depends on the response. Because a response could be like, nah, I don't believe in God. I don't really care. Or the response can be like, I just never really had the opportunity to look into it, or even had the opportunity to grow into that. I obviously say the first one's a red flag, obviously, for me. But the second one, I feel like that's something, if they are, from what you can see visually, if they're everything that you're looking for, I feel like that's something you can work with, especially if they have an open mind. Like if they have an open mind, and like, I mean, I don't mind getting to know God if you want to, introduce me to him and stuff like that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna cap. I can't do that no more.
I mean, I get it. A lot of people.
Me personally, though, it's like.
But I've never been in a situation like that, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I would be open to it if they were open to, wanting to get to know him.
The only reason why now I'm all for helping somebody to get to know God. The only reason why I say I wouldn't be able to do it because it's like my life. it's always a constant transformation with God. You're never fully transformed until you die. Mm-hmm. That's the only time you fully transform. Even then, you still might not be fully transformed. But like, for me to introduce you to God, like, okay, I find you attractive. You're a nice looking young lady. You don't necessarily have the tools, but for me to introduce you to that, it's like, okay, I can't change who you are. Even though I might have introduced you to God, you might still have some things that you got to work on and work through. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want to be the one that harbors the heartbreak because God ain't fixed you to where you need to be yet. Mm-hmm. No, that's the only reason why I say, I can't do that. Cause
and you probably also have a different perspective too, because you're older than us. You're not that too much older, but you are older than us. But like, you but you're more mature than we are, and you think and you look at certain situations a lot differently than I do personally. So.
Yeah. One red flag though for me is. Hold on, because this is gonna be a long, drawn out, not long, but accountability first and foremost, and I think being open to feedback. Now,
not being able to take criticism.
Because a lot of the times, bro, especially as men, if I'm in a relationship with you, I want to. Your success is my success. Anytime you walk out that house and people know we together, you a representation of me. So why would I not? Why would I tell you something just to get on your back? No, I'm telling you this to make you better, to make us better.
Right.
My issue, which is a red flag, is if I can't come to you and say, hey, Trey, I really don't like how you tied your shoes, man. Maybe you should do it this differently. Mm-hmm. Now, when you do that and it shifts from us discussing the issue and why it made me feel that way, we go from that to discussing why I get the feedback I gave you, why it made you upset.
Yeah.
So it's no longer about like me or the issue at hand, not even the issue, just the feedback. It's, dang, I don't like how that made me feel. So now it's completely transitions. Like, I came to you to give you this feedback, but now we sit here talking about how that made you feel.
Now we're in an argument.
We're not even talking about the issue. We're talking about how that made you feel as a woman. Yeah. For me giving you that first. Secondly, it's like, if I can't tell you something, bro, like, granted, we're not perfect. I'm not expecting you to change it immediately, but as long as you make that effort to make that change, I can live with that.
Yeah.
But if you have no accountability whatsoever for your, like, at all, I can't. No, that's a complete red flag.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see in the beginning stages, you can pick up on a lot of stuff. Bishop used to say, if people, I forget how he said it, but when he said, when people show you who they are, believe them, good or bad. Yeah. People show you who they are, believe them.
The first time.
Yeah. But I think lack of accountability, and then not being receptive to feedback, because how can we grow?
How can we grow if you're
together?
Not willing to take? So you can tell me every which way, like, that you don't like about me, but like once I say it, it's a.
Now here's the thing.
Problem. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You, of course, be respectful in your approach.
Absolutely.
Because like Jaren said, you gotta know who you're dealing with. I can't come to you all rah like, well, you did it. No.
Yeah.
Like, hey, honey, like, first of all, just know that I genuinely appreciate you and I love you.
Yeah.
Like, here's some things that I don't necessarily like and I don't agree with.
Right.
It's just how you come. But if you, even in that, if you can't take it as a woman, then it's like, nah, get away from me.
Yeah. Because at that point, even for, a woman looking at a guy, like, because I know, like we were saying, guys are prideful. So a lot of men don't like criticism. A lot of men also don't like hearing a woman tell them something about themselves. They're not open to it. They're like, who are you? Like, I'm a man. Like, who are you to tell me? Let's be like, who are you to tell me what I'm doing wrong?
Right.
But that's not part of having a healthy relationship. You want to be open, like you said. You want to be open to each other's criticism. You want to be open to each other's thoughts. Because how can y'all grow together if y'all don't want to help each other on y'all flaws? Mm-hmm. And I know me personally, I know a part of loving unconditionally is loving someone through their pros and their cons.
Yeah.
You want to love them through their flaws, but if they're willing to work on their flaws, that's something that you can help out with. But you also have to be open to that.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say another thing, like, for men and women both, don't expect your partner to change overnight.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta be patient.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about in marriage counseling, I was like you living with your family for, let's say, 18 years, 19 years, or whatever, since your upbringing or whatever. Mm-hmm. don't expect things to happen overnight. Like she would expect me to talk about how I feel, open up overnight.
Yeah.
And Bishop was telling her, like, don't expect it to be overnight, because he was dealing with this his whole life. So things are not going to happen all at one time. Give it time. Keep pushing them. Keep praying for them. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And then if you see they're trying, you know that they're working on themselves. So don't.
Because it's just something you became accustomed to. It's like it's what you grew up saw it.
Right.
So how do you and your fiance keep God at the center? Like, how do y'all keep God at the center of y'all's relationship?
We pray every night before we go to bed.
Yeah.
And we missed maybe a couple nights because we fell asleep on each other, stuff like that. But like, we pray on the phone every night. We read scriptures. Well, we read by ourselves, and we talk about what we read throughout the scriptures, and then we
accountability measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we fast.
Like
That's good.
Fast once a week together. So we do stuff like that together, just so our relationship can please Him.
Yeah.
It's definitely a way to be on one accord too. But for me, like you said, we get together, we do Bible plans together, and we'll talk about, like, even this, like, we'll talk about. I get. Like, I come to her about a topic that we're gonna speak about, and she'll give me feedback. She'll give me stuff like, hey, maybe you should touch on this, maybe you should touch on that. It's about we just super open about God, and we completely, we talk about Him. Like I said, we do Bible plans, we pray together. I know in the beginning of our relationship, we didn't, well, because we got together over COVID, so that's when church and everything was shut down.
Yep.
Right? So. But now the church is open back up, we've definitely been a lot better with God and keeping God at the center, because it's one thing you got to learn. Like, prayer is everything in a relationship. It changes everything. Like you said, ain't nothing gonna change overnight. Ain't nothing, and it's not gonna be easy at all, because you're coming together as one, but then you have to think you're coming together as one person. Like, y'all both have your own flaws. Y'all both have things that y'all view differently. Y'all perspectives on everything is not going to be the same, like, at all, because you're connecting with another person. And, that's just one thing that you have to be patient about when it comes to, being in a relationship. And I think that's what we're starting to realize. And you just have to be patient and keep God in the center. And, prayer is definitely a huge one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, being open and listening to God whenever He has something to say to y'all. Like you said, like, your last girlfriend, she would only, like, God would come to you about things, and she would be the only one that knows about those certain things.
Yeah. I think it's more so like an introduction to God.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
He knows how to get to it.
Yeah. How do you know that?
Yeah.
It's like, it ain't me. I don't say nothing.
So, yeah, God'll definitely, if you allow God to be in a relationship, God will be there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
What advice, Jern, would you give to folks who's male or female, who's looking to be engaged or find a husband or find a wife? What kind of advice would you give to those folk who are listening that may be looking, or people who may have found it?
I'll say know your worth is probably one of the biggest things for me. Like, know your worth. Don't date a woman that's gonna treat you bad, bring you down, doing stuff like that. You know that we always like to say a black king, or just like men are kings in general. Like, we consider ourselves like, So get you somebody that's gonna
treat you
treat you with a certain type of respect, treat you with honesty, trust, all that stuff. That's not gonna lie to you and just keep your head straight. Because it's hard for men. I feel like there's a lot of pressure especially for me now. Now I'm seeing it. I got bills to pay. I got a wife that I got to provide for.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm gonna have a family. I got house mortgage, car, stuff like that. So it's hard to get distracted, and hard to get, depressed over stuff like that. But get you somebody that's gonna keep you in line for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any other gems you learned from counseling that you could give to folk? Questions that they may ask you, like, dang, it's really good. Something I never considered, because some of these questions I never considered. When even choosing a partner, it's like, or to date, it's like, dang.
We talked about something the other day. Bishop told us staying in he preached about it a couple, I think last year. It was like staying in concert, and what he means by that is stay as one, like what we talked about earlier. Basically, stay as one. He asked us about our parents. Do they have one bank account? How many bank accounts do they have? and stuff like that. He said there should be no reason why y'all should have multiple bank accounts. Y'all are one. He was just using that as an example, but y'all are one.
Yeah.
So everything y'all do is y'all doing it together.
Yeah.
Don't go behind your partner's back and do something that you know that they're not gonna like. Don't try to get on their nerves on purpose. Because how would you feel if they did the same thing to you?
Yeah.
So like y'all have to think as one. Y'all have to be as one. You have to walk as one.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've definitely learned too. Because I'm not like I said, our upbringing. Our family wasn't really big on communication, and I've always thought to myself like I'm great at communication. But I've started to realize like I'm not
as great as you thought.
I'm not as great as I thought I was. I'm a great listener.
Mm-hmm.
I can listen all day long. I can listen for sure and give you feedback like I'm supposed to know. But as far as communication, like I am not good at it, and I've started to realize that, and I'm like, that's definitely something else I need to pray about so I can grow in that area, so we can help be better together. But yeah, for me, it's a struggle for me.
Yeah,
it's communication.
I got 2 more questions for you guys. Then I think we'll wrap it up. One of them being like, you said being as one. How do you balance like your relationship, family, work? Of course, your relationship being a priority because you got somebody else you're looking out for until you start having kids. Mm-hmm. But how do you balance everything and still at the same time you got to look out for Jaren too? Like you got to do things Jaren enjoy, be happy and do things that you like, but also balancing, your wife, or soon-to-be wife, work, your ministries, obligations.
Yeah, I'll say keep the main goal. Just don't overthink it. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I can put it. Like as far as me, like I always put myself at the bottom. I don't know why. Like with everything, like if I'm hungry and the whole group is not hungry and we're not going out to eat, I'm like, all right, I'll just starve for that little couple hours. Like that's just me. Like that's just how I always thought of it. But like keep the main goal. If you know you got to go to work, your wife needs to, or your husband needs to understand that you got to pay the bills, and know that they doing it for you. Mm-hmm. Y'all you doing it for the relationship. They're not just doing it to do it. Like I remember I was supposed to come up here one time and I couldn't because they asked me to work overtime.
Get that bread.
This is before I even proposed. I'm like, all right, I gotta buy this engagement ring, so just let me work. That's all.
She didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't know. Yeah, she didn't know. She got all mad. I was like, I'm doing this for us.
Yeah,
I'm doing this so we can be good. I'm working so we can have money. But yeah, I'll say y'all both just come to understanding that y'all doing everything for each other.
Yeah, okay.
Just keep the main goal.
That's good.
That is good.
What about you, brother? Being in a relationship, maybe not engaged yet, but how do you balance everything, including your relationship?
I think it's like you said. Like we typically try to do everything together, and you want to stay on one accord. Like I said, even though I'm not engaged yet and stuff like that, but you also want to do everything together, and you want to do. Being in a relationship is also about compromise. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to compromise on some stuff. That. Like there is some stuff that me as a man that I want to go do. Like, hey, the game's on tonight. I'm trying to watch the game. Yeah. But you also haven't hung out with your girlfriend for the last 2 days.
Right.
So it's like,
that's good.
Shoot,
let's go watch the game together.
Yeah, we can watch the game together, or I got to sacrifice and we got to watch Grey's Anatomy or something. It's just how it is sometimes.
That's tough. Grey's Anatomy is tough.
But it's the truth. It's just sometimes. But she does the same thing for me. Like,
true.
We ain't hung out. The game's on tonight. My favorite team, the Celtics. We just won the championship. She hates the Celtics.
I don't like that.
But I was like, she was like, I guess we can watch the game. And that's just some stuff that you have to be willing to compromise if y'all gonna also be successful. If you're not gonna be willing to compromise on anything, because you're in a relationship, not everything is always gonna go the way you're expecting it to go. And again, that's because y'all are two different people trying to come together to be one.
Yeah. Right.
So you have to understand, like, all right, there is some stuff I'm gonna have to sacrifice. Like, maybe I can't go hoop today because we haven't hung out for a week because we've been working, and we have to go out to eat. We need to hang out and talk and stuff like that. And that's just some stuff you got to understand. You just got to compromise.
I think I agree with Lauren when she says she hates the Celtics because I'm right there with her. I don't like them either.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't repeat next year. Anyway, one thing I want to say, single folk, especially single fellas, is I'm a single guy, but I can speak to it. Don't be out here chasing women, man. Chase purpose, bro. When you chase your purpose, everything else will come straight to it. Everything else will come with it. When you chasing your purpose and doing what you have to do, I promise you, it'll all pay out in the long run. Here's one thing I understand as a single man. Now, get you a nice God-fearing woman, but most women, it's not all women, but most women, they kind of wait to see how things will pan out for a lot of men. Mm-hmm. So if you purpose-driven and you chasing purpose, there's no way you don't be successful, especially if you're doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
Yeah.
Now, most importantly, the reason why I say that is because I remember there was a girl I was dealing with, and it was pretty, I don't say hectic, but it was starting to become a lot for me. Yeah. But me being who I am, hitting to the love, God's love episode, and you asked me how I carry myself in that manner. Mm-hmm. I show love to everybody, and I go hard for anybody if I'm in it, I'm in it.
Yeah.
God had told me, he said, not him, but in this dream, God had told me, he said, the burdens of a woman, he said, I see the burdens of a woman overtaking your mind. He literally said, focus. That's all he said. He said, I need you to focus. And I'm like, dang. He told me to lay down because we were standing up talking, me and this person. It was an angel, I'm sure. And he said, lay down real quick. And he started telling me all this stuff. And he told me what he saw. And he said, I need you to focus. And then I woke up. And I'm like, dang. So I say that to say, like, lock in on what you have to do. And even when God created Eve, he didn't just say, this is your wife, Adam. He literally paraded her like, you see this, Adam? You see what this look like? You like that? And then Adam decided, like, okay, this is the woman I need to be with. But I think for single men, single ladies as well, work on becoming the best woman, the type of woman, work on being a woman for the type of man you would want.
Yeah.
So think about the type of man you want. Okay, what is he doing? What does he look like? Different things like that. Okay, what kind of woman is this kind of man attracted to? Mm-hmm. What kind of woman does this kind of man want?
Yeah.
Ask, the men around you. But me being single, I'm saying this, because this is currently what I'm doing. And when I think back on different things, it's like, okay, what do I want my woman to look like? And as a man, especially in God, I know where God's taking me. I know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. Last question.
And to that point, you also, like, as a single person, you can pray about the person that you want.
Yeah.
True. You can pray about the person that, regardless you're a woman or a man, what Bishop always told us, he was like, you want to pray for your future kids, even though they're not here. You also want to pray for your future partner, even though you have no idea who that is. You want to pray that they're ready whenever because God is going to, if you're on the right path and you're following your purpose, God is just going to put that person in your life.
Y'all going to cross paths.
Y'all going to cross paths, and it could be in a funny way. It could be in a churchful way. It could be in any kind of way. God is going to put that person in your path, and you're going to know, like, off rip, like, shoot. God is going to let you know when he feels as though you're ready for that. So I would definitely say, like, if you are single, whether you're ready to get in a relationship or not, it's something you should pray for when you are ready. And God knows when you're gonna be ready, and he'll put that person in your life when he feels is best.
And don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry, bro. And I'm a single man saying this because of course I would want a woman that I could come home to and be confident in, that you're not doing me no kind of way. We can just be in love. It's more than just being in love. Especially as on a man's perspective, you got to do more than just love the woman who you with. It's so much more to it. So, and as a woman, there's so much more to it than just being in love and having kids. So, last question, Jaren, we'll end it on this. What are you most looking forward to about being married, and how do you plan to continue growing within your relationship as well as spiritually after you get married? So first, what are you most looking forward to?
I think I'm most looking forward to just being with each other. Being with one another, because we've been long distance now for like 2 years, 2.5. I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick of driving back and forth. I'm up here all the time.
Yeah, you are.
Like, I'm sick of driving back and forth. So I'm
4 hours.
4 hours.
SOD.
Yeah. I'm just excited to be just finally being together after all this time. I'm like, finally.
It
was all worth it.
Yeah.
It was all worth it. So I feel like if you like grinding, y'all both grinding for that relationship and what y'all want, and when it all works out, it's gonna be you're gonna wish that
bliss.
you.
Yeah.
And how do you plan to continue to grow together, spiritually and then relationally?
I would say just keep doing the stuff that we've been doing, honestly, because we've seen what we did and we've seen how we grown from where we started until now. So I just say, I don't want to say stay at a straight line, but at some point we're gonna have to elevate what we doing. At some point we're gonna have to, all right, we gotta tithe more together. All right, we gotta pray more. We gotta fast. Let's do it instead of doing a 18-hour fast. Let's do a 24-hour fast. Like we're gonna have to elevate to get where we both want to be. Yeah. We're both never satisfied. Yeah. So that's a. I feel like that's gonna help us a lot too.
I think one thing though that's really 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 good is that y'all already have the foundation.
Yeah,
like y'all already created that foundation, so it's a matter of now just stacking on top of that.
Right. Yeah.
Which a lot of people, me being one of them in the previous relationships, didn't really have that foundation to begin with.
Yeah.
But what about together? What is one thing you're looking forward to within the relationship? Not spiritually, just y'all.
Traveling.
Yeah. What's a destination y'all want to go? Where's y'all honeymoon gonna be at?
We was thinking about either Jamaica or Cancun. That's what we was thinking about.
What's on your list of places to hit? Just travel in general.
Everywhere. I don't go. I literally come to Louisville. That's it. I don't go nowhere.
You ain't been within the states nowhere for real?
I've been to Orlando, but that was it. I don't go nowhere.
I guess what's up, man.
So
get your passport, bro.
Yeah, get my passport.
Yeah, trying to touch different cities. So I get it.
When's the wedding?
My wedding?
Yeah.
In due time. In due time.
My fault.
In due time. Nah, in due time. Gotta figure out. There's some stuff that, because the way we look at it is, when I get down on one knee, I want to know that I can fully provide for her the way that she deserves it.
100%.
So, with me being me, I don't want to just get this cheapo ring, that kind of stuff. I don't want to just do it just to do it so we'll be married and then like that. I want to make sure that we're prepared just in case, we do get married. There's a kid on the way out of nowhere. You never know. Or something happens to somebody. I want to make sure that, my I ain't thinking the word I'm trying to think for. My success and what I'm trying to do in life is on the right path.
Yeah.
Before I career, that's what I was looking for the word. Make sure my career is in check before we, get there.
That commitment.
Yeah.
Well,
so we can live the happy married life, traveling and just being happy with each other. That's one thing I definitely look forward. Just being happy in each other's company, for forever, however long we got on this earth. So,
and I'm gonna say one more thing. Don't expect, especially in a Christian relationship, don't expect it to be peaches and cream. Don't expect it to be all rainbows and butterflies, because God is gonna test the relationship. As you grow, God is gonna test you more and more and more. And how you overcome what He's testing you is how y'all gonna elevate and grow. So that's probably the main
them generational curses and demons and Satan. He gonna try to attack you too, because he's definitely gonna try to attack them flaws that y'all noticed about each other. So you gotta remain patient, remain faithful, stay prayed up, like you said, stay consistent with your walk. So, and everything will work out. Like you said, it ain't gonna be easy, but everything will work out and everything be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this was a really, really good episode. Yeah.
We gotta bring a girl on.
Yeah, we gonna do a second one. Yeah, we gonna do a second one, and we gonna have a perspective of a woman who's, I don't know, engaged. We should have Krista. Well, nah, that kind of flawed her.
Yeah,
flawed her perspective a little bit. Yeah, we'll have a part 2 for the ladies.
Yeah, for the ladies.
Because I would love to know. I would love to know
a woman's perspective.
Yeah, on a lot of different things.
Just so y'all ain't getting just.
Yeah, this was kind of biased panel right here. But
yeah. That's why we was trying to say women and men's perspective. But at the end of the day, we men, so we're gonna think how we think. We ain't gonna have a woman's perspective. So we definitely do want to get a woman on here. In due time, maybe like you said, part 2. Eventually have somebody who actually is married to see how they've navigated through the married life and stuff like that. So, but, look forward to more videos in the future. We want to thank Jaren for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
It was great to have you on here.
Appreciate you.
Wouldn't be surprised if y'all see him again in the future. Maybe a different topic. You never know. But you got anything else to say?
be blessed.
Yeah, thank you. We still do appreciate all the love and support that we have been getting. We're extremely grateful to be in this position that God has placed us in. And yeah, we just want to continue to grow, and we're thankful. And thank you for tuning in today.